Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well. In today's video, I am going to walk you through how you can apply for a Japan visa if you hold an Indian passport. This video will be very detailed and comprehensive, covering all the small but important points you need to know. Make sure to watch till the end because I will be sharing information that can save you both time and money. Most importantly, I want to emphasize that you can apply for Japan visa completely on your own. You don't need to spend extra on travel agents or fall for marketing gimmicks. I personally applied for my Japan visa by myself and successfully received it within just 10 days. So let's get started. The first thing to note here is that VFS Global handles all the Japan visa applications in India. So let's head over to their website. On the home page, you will see an option where you can select the country you are applying for. Here we can select India. And the country you are applying to, which is Japan. And then next you can click on Take Me to the website. After the page opens, you will notice an option to apply for a visa. Just click on Start Now. On the next page, you will find a step-by-step guide for the entire visa application process. The very first step is to identify your visa type. So you click on the visa type and you land on this particular page. Now what this page tells us is the different VFS global locations in India where you can apply for a Japan visa. But here is an important point. You cannot apply at any VFS global center of your choice. There are specific criteria that decide where you will be eligible to apply. We will go through those criteria in detail in a little later in this video. And one more thing, each VFS location may have slightly different document requirements, so make sure you are diligent and double check the checklist for your specific center. Let's start by talking about the consulate in Kolkata and their requirements. I will cover this first because I personally applied through this consulate, so I am quite familiar with the process here. Once you click on this button, you will be directed to the Kolkata's consulate's visa requirements page. Here you will see a drop down menu where you will get the option of the visa types. Let's say I select the temporary visitor visa for sightseeing without guarantor. You will find different sections with all the relevant details for the visa type you have selected. First is the overview. In the overview section, they explain the purpose of that visa and who is eligible to apply. Here, they have also mentioned that if you are applying on someone else's behalf, then you need to have the authorization letter. Next is the visa fees. One thing to note here is that at this visa center, they apply or accept only cash and card. They don't accept a UPI payment. Next, we move on to the documents required. Here you will find the complete checklist along with the formats of any supporting documents you might need. Then comes the photo specifications. Make sure that you submit your photos exactly as specified. Even small deviations can cause issues. Then the processing times. The processing time is usually 1 week to 10 days. Last is the application form. So the application form needs to be filled and submitted in the VFS Global Center the day you apply on the VFS Center. My suggestion is follow every detail in these sections carefully. Even a small oversight can lead to delays or rejection, so it is better to be thorough from the start. Now let's head back to the document section and go over what is required for a tourist visa. The very first thing to note here is that about the passport eligibility. Only passports issued in Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha and West Bengal can be submitted at this VFS center. If your passport was issued somewhere else, you will need to provide a valid residence proof as mentioned here. And let me stress this, they are very strict about this rule, no exceptions, so make sure you are fully compliant. Next, we move on to the application form. As discussed earlier, the application form needs to be duly filled and signed. The signature must match as per the passport. You will of course need your original passport and a photocopy of the original passport. Next, talking about the photographs. As I mentioned earlier, the photographs need to be as specified in the specifications. Even small deviations can get your application rejected. After that, we move on to the most critical document, the covering letter. This is where many applications succeed or fail. Your covering letter should strike the right balance, not overly formal, not casual either. Make sure to include who you are traveling with, which cities and sightseeing spots you plan to visit, where you work, how you will be sponsoring the trip, and a mention of all the documents you are attaching with the application. The clearer and more detailed your letter is, the stronger your application becomes. Once your covering letter is sorted, the next requirement is a NOC or a leave approval from the company on the official letterhead with a signature. If you are a business owner, you will need to submit your company incorporation certificate. And if you are working outside these eligible states, a work from home letter is also required. For students, it is a study from home letter. Now moving on to the financial documents. You need to file personal ITR for the past 3 years. If you haven't filed ITR due to reasons like just starting work or taking a break, you will have to provide an explanation letter instead. Next, you need to submit the personal 6 months bank statement with original stamp and sign. That you can get it from any branch of your bank, duly signed and stamped by the bank officials. If you have any additional investments like mutual funds or other assets, it is a good idea to include them too. They make your application look stronger. Next, you will need the hotel reservations where you can choose to book now and pay later option. They don't need a confirmed booking, just a booking. Next is the itinerary, and the format of the itinerary I will be attaching it in the description. And lastly, the air tickets. The air tickets can be, you can either place a dummy ticket or you can place a cancelable air ticket. Finally, a few keynotes to keep in mind. If you are submitting the application for someone else, then an authorization letter is a must. Second, you can apply for the Japan visa only 90 days before the travel date. Thirdly, if you are traveling to the third country before and after traveling to Japan, you need to submit the third country's visa copy as well. I would suggest you go directly from India and come back directly to India, at least in the itinerary. That way you can you don't need to submit this extra piece of document. Lastly, the itinerary needs to be elaborate. It should not be vague. For example, don't just write sightseeing in Tokyo. Instead, write visiting Asakusa and Sensoji temple in the morning after having breakfast. That That kind of elaboration they need in the itinerary, travel itinerary that you submit. There is something very important that you need to remember, that your dates and details must match across all documents. The travel itinerary, covering later, hotel bookings, and the flight tickets. Any mismatch can cause unnecessary rejection. For example, if you say in your travel itinerary that your arrival is on 26th, then your hotel booking should also start from 26th. So this would avoid any unnecessary rejections. So that's all from my side. We have covered the documents you need to submit for a tourist visa at Kolkata consulate. For other locations or visa types, you can simply follow the VFS website. The process is quite similar. The most important thing to remember is this: follow the checklist and the website instructions as carefully as possible. If you do that, your chances of getting your visa approved are very high. If you have any questions or doubts, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be happy to help. Thank you.